directly, Manini, Khalid Bhai, Priyanka, then Sriti, Sharita, Avinash, Jaraf, Ashik, Shilpa, Nagraj, and Khadija. Also, Onu. That's great. Thank you so much. So now we'll go to a bit next part. So thing is, all the picture I show here is all the picture are very much related to the river somehow. Some of them are directly related to the river. Some of them are not directly, but somehow indirectly very much related to the river. So we had talked before, they are kind of, we called it like an stakeholder for the river. So it's not like in stakeholder in terms of business purpose. It's an stakeholder in terms of river. So feel like we are, the river is in the main circle. So river is in the main point, and other thing is the circulating throughout the river. So other thing we are called it as an stakeholder. So sometimes we feel a fisherman is good for river and industry is bad for river, or sometimes we feel maybe sand miner is bad for the river and the transportation is good for the river, the older transportation, or maybe we feel like the previous kind of transportation method is good for the nature and present kind of transportation for the river system is bad for the nature. Thing is, first we can define some stakeholder, okay, then we can talk about it. So here I can show some, here is the picture. So in the first row, these are the three animals. So animal, there are different kind of animal except even fish, which are very much related to the river, right? So this is a kind of a stakeholder. So if this is positive or negative, we'll talk later. And then the power generation station. Most of the power generation station, not even the dam thing or the hydroelectric thing, even the normal power station, the coal driven or the gas driven, this is also some of the power station is very much dependent on the river to condense their water to cooling system they are using the river. Then the second row, there is an river related or water driven sports activity. And in the third row, there is some farming system. So how farming system also a kind of a stakeholder for the river. How we'll talk later. And then this is the very popular picture, sand extraction, sand extracting or sand miner. And then our livelihood, the people livelihood, this is our main mention, the livelihood. And the last one is the transportation, right? So transportation is also another stakeholder for the river or of the river. So now I will talk about how it will be positive or it's going to be negative. So we'll talk about it. So when we are talking about the fishermen or the fishing sector, so this is going to be a positive stakeholder as well as negative stakeholder, because the previously when the one person can have a net or a boat, a small boat, so they can like fishing in a sustainable way in his or her way. But when it's gonna be like a massive fishing, like mass fishing extraction from the river or the water body, so that will be like not only take the fish which is only eatable, or eatable means like you can take it, but they also take the very small fish, the mother fish, kind of they're like they're gathering all kind of fish, right? So that is like turn into the negative part. So when we are talking about the tourists can be positive stakeholder, like they are investing on the area. When they are going to in the river area, they are investing their money. The people around the river will get benefited. But in the same time, where they are littering the river, they are mass extracting the river, that will be like turn into negative, right? So water related sports activity means like to kayaking, to sailing, to any kind of water activity. So one of the risks for the water related activity is sometimes it's motivate the habitat habitat system, right? So its speed, the our kind of system is sometimes changes the habitat system. And another is transportation. So transportation is kind of positive stakeholder, but sometimes it's makes some negative in the way like in Bangladesh and back in 2014, there was a ship which is carry some water, oil, and the ship is in the middle of the river, it's drawn. So all the water, oil is just extracting the whole river environment system, and that actually destroy the local environment system, right? So there is some definitely negative stakeholder factor for the transportation part. And for the sand mining thing, we'll talk a bit more in the later part, but we'll talk about the sand mining the previous way. like the people are using the sand. That was like in kind of sustainable way. But when you are like massive sand extraction, that's massively destroy the whole ecosystem of the river, right? And animal is the definitely very positive stakeholder for the river, especially the fisheries items. And human livelihood depend on the like the farming, like the other thing. That will be sometimes it's like the people who are live beside the river. So sometimes it's creates some positive, and sometimes it's definitely creates some negative. So farmer is a bit tricky because previously, like before 18th century, like people, farmer are not using the pesticide or the different kind of hormones. In that time, also they are using the water from the irrigation for the irrigation for their land. But nowadays, when they are using the pesticide and the other thing, they will turn into become a negative stakeholder for the river, right? Because once they using their pesticide, and when the rain is wash their land, the water actually the pesticide basically goes to the river. So in that way, they are also becoming the negative stakeholder for the river sometimes. And power generation company sometimes they are like too much cooling system they are using based on the river. That's why the whole water body of the that area is like become hot, and the local habitat become vulnerable for that, right? And company and factory means the company and factory who are like using the river for make vent out there all the pollution thing. This is the thing. So these are the thing for the basically definitely negative stakeholder for the river, right? So these are some very common. I think already knew about it. Some of them about how it's negatively impact on the river, but I think there is something more, right? So something more beyond this list. So here I can share one link of Mentimeter. Can you just go to the Mentimeter link and just write on the, if you just one positive stakeholder name and one negative stakeholder name, which is not mentioned here before. So if you just go to the link and just mention few name, right? So that then we actually make some co-creation. We get some knowledge from all of you. So can you just go to the link and share some one positive stakeholder name and one negative stakeholder name, right? So just go to the link and just share your thought, how you feel, which are the negative stakeholder, which the negative positive stakeholder for the river. So just go to the link and write, and we can show it here, right? So can you get the link, everyone? Can you get the access? I can share in the chat box. So just go to the chat box, click on the link, and just write, think and write. Okay. So we're waiting. Okay, we get one response: Fisher women positive and extracting industry negative. Great. Okay, well, we get one response. We are waiting for others. So please go to the link and write whatever you think. So poachers are definitely negative, maybe, or forest officer. I don't know is it negative or positive because sometimes they are not using the power in the proper way. So organic farmer and rapid industrialization. So definitely we got the idea. Organic farmer is positive and rapid industry is negative. So another we get sand miner and fishermen. So we get the idea, I think. So then sand mining people and fishes, I think it's gonna be. So another one is aquatic plants. That's a very good point. Thank you so much, whoever write it. And insecticides, great. Another thing is positive fishes. Okay, that's a good point. Who actually write it? Can you just mention what is positive fish? Who write this positive fishes?
No, I was just trying to distinguish between positive and negative because I didn't know.
Sorry.
That's why.
My fault, my fault. That's great. Okay, we get a fantastic point of view, right? So plastic is definitely negative chemicals. We get the negative part for the industrialists, the fishermen, insecticide, positive fishes, sand mining people, rapid industrialization, sand mining, inorganic farmer. Great. Fantastic. Fantastic response. Okay, we can get maybe 2, 3 more response. Then we'll close it up. We get till now 11 response. Okay, mangroves. Fantastic. Hydropower. Okay, so mangrove is definitely positive. Hydropower is for negative. Okay, great. Aquatic plant. We already get that. Okay, so solid waste. Okay, definitely it's a negative stakeholder for the river. So sometimes we are why we're using the word stakeholder, because sometimes we are feeling only the when human are do something like business or making farming or whatever, they maybe only have a stakeholder. But think about only the river exists in the world. River is the main factor of the world. So how river think in a way. So everything is kind of a stakeholder for itself, right? That is why we are using the word stakeholder. Great. So thank you so much, everyone. We get a huge response like conservation agency and real estate developer. Great. So we get a huge response from you. That's an I love the energy. Thank you so much. That's really great. So now we are moving on, and I can see if you of you video turn off your video. Okay, that's cool, not cool. Okay, so thank you so much. So we are moving on our next segment, which is basically we'll talk a very important issue, like what are the changes of the river, right? But before that, we play a game, and for that, everyone definitely need to turn on your video. So we are waiting for the turn on your video, then we'll go to the game. But that game was fun, right? So you will enjoy it. Just make sure you will just enjoy it, right? So please turn on the video, everyone, and try to sit in a position in your room. That's why you can get some object from like very small object like pen or mobile phone, something like that. You have available in that space, right? So try to sit in a position or place. Just you can get some object from available from your room, right? Yasha?
Okay, so we are, me and Myrene going to facilitate this session, this interesting game session called Hold More Objects. I request everyone to turn on your videos for this segment. So now, how do we play this game? My co-facilitator Mayuri, I'm inviting you to share the rules of the game. Mayuri?
Yeah, thank you, Yasha. So everyone, look around you. There would be a lot of objects, at least some objects nearby, right? So with each count, you have to hold one object. For example, Yasha says one, you hold one thing, two, hold another. Don't drop the previous objects, just keep holding more objects, which each count. And we will keep counting till about 16 or 15.
No, we
So
don't
at
mention the
one point
number.
of the
Maybe we
count,
don't mention the
can
number.
you see
Maybe
my
40
hands?
till 100.
Your hands should be visible to us. Yeah, your hands should be visible to us. So at one point of the count, you might not be able to hold something anymore. Like my hands are really full right now. So at that point, you have to let us know. And that's about it actually. So over to you, Yasha.
Yes, so I'm counting one. Okay, I can see people, okay, have two. Pick another. Okay, three. Have you? Four. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Ten. 11. What's happening? 12. 13. 14. Guys, 15.
Someone I can see not old. Someone is I think
Hands,
old
hands.
but not just yeah. So I think I already give up because
If your hands are full, let us know. I have given up. My hands are
Yeah,
full.
let us know.
Okay, I give up.
You give up?
Yep.
I gave up at 11.
I too. I'll give up.
Okay.
17. 18. 19. 20. You can't keep it. You can't keep it beside you. You have to be. They have to be in your hand.
Yeah, and
I
hold
have
it.
20.
Hold it, and also hold it.
I have to give
Hold
up
it.
now.
Hold it.
I gave up already. Like when everybody else gave up. I think when Amir sir gave up, I gave up too. I haven't picked up anything new. I was just keeping it down so I can unmute myself.
Okay. Okay.
I still have a scope. I don't know, but when you said, then I picked one mug which has a it is mentioned that agreement get better result than argument, and then I realized that I picked the right thing, and I put things inside. So it's like I have more than 16.
But Avinash, if we ask you to run everyone now, can you run it in a way, or everything drop down after a while you are starting running?
Well, I can run with this. Even I have a scope for 8
Okay, that's
more
cool.
of it. I can put in the mug.
Okay, Yasha, continue then. Yasha, you're muted, I think.
Yeah, I have also done the same thing like Avinash, you know.
Okay. But Khalid, can you run in a way?
But
It's not a mug, like it's a handicraft.
Can you
on
run?
which
Did you run?
I can put everything here.
We don't have. We are saying hold it. Don't like carry thing, right? So I think Khalid
I am holding it.
carrying object, not holding object.
I'm holding object that is carrying objects.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, your instruction was not right.
Okay.
I have a lot of things. Yes, you can see.
Yeah, I can put things
Okay,
like
great.
that.
Okay, great. So people. Okay, Mayuri, who is the winner? Still last, who actually survived?
I think whoever has given up, we can switch off our cameras for a while.
Okay. Okay. Only the people who are survived till now, only they can turn on their videos. Okay. So Anu, Avinash, Khalid bhai, Ashik, bhai, where is your object?
No,
Okay,
no. I have given up at 12.
Where is your object?
I have given up at 12.
Okay, no problem.
Khalid bhai, you and I are thinking the same line.
The object from your side, but that's fine. Congratulations, Avinash and Khalid bhai, both of you. So you are like holding the object, the art. So you have the responsibility in your shoulder now. Okay, so something like that. Thank you, congratulations, both of you. Now you can turn on the video, everyone. So everyone, can you just turn on the video? So we can get 20 seconds for the turn on everyone's video. Thank you, Ishwari, Ashik, Sriti, Manini, Priyanka, thank you, Khadija, Zarif, Zaraf. Great. So the thing is, so everyone can start the game, right? Everyone is starting to holding object. Everyone is starting playing the thing. But everyone in a certain period of time, after a certain period of time, in some point, kind of give up, or they can like, because they are get in a position of we are called tipping point, or they are getting in a point where it's actually collapsed. They can't hold it. They can't have the ability to hold it. We can't have, like in a number of 11, I can't hold it because already I get some big object. So that's actually make me to collapsing my capacity, right? So what about the river? So river is currently, some of the river is already dead, some of the river is kind of like starving, some of the river is kind of like trying to survive me, but we can see maybe after 10 years it's not gonna be alive, it's gonna be dead. We can assume that. And some of the river is already dead because they can't have the capacity to survive, or maybe they can get as much pollution or as much extraction to them or as much oppression to them. I use the word oppression for the river too because it's true. So as much they can already get it, that's why the river is already collapsed. So what are the object they can hold in the last 100 years that's actually make them collapse, right? So now we'll talk about this thing. So the main session of this object is, main title of the session is, what are the changes of the river in last 100 years? But basically in the deep down, we'll talk about what are the things that make the river collapse in last 100 years, and the process is still going on the beyond in next maybe few years also, right? So first thing, I think you already knew about it, the dam, right? So everyone knows the dam. So dam is good, dam is necessary, dam is important. It's give us power, it's give us electricity, lots of things. But sometimes it's massively changes the river ecosystem, the livelihood of the river, the people who are around the river, the live around the river, the indigenous people who are living around the river. In Bangladesh, currently we are producing 18,000 megawatt electricity, but the number of the amount of the electricity comes from the hydroelectric only 230. But because of this 230 megawatt electricity out of the 18,000 megawatt, we are using a huge amount of land to using the dam water or hydroelectric water. So this is the one thing we are using in massively in last 100 years in Asia, South Asia, UK, China, everywhere, to harness the water and produce the electricity. But because of that, a huge amount of land of the river is changes, their channel is changes, the habitat, the habits, everything going to changes. So that's one thing, right? Second is, so this is an example for the, I think some of you know about the only natural um, fish breeding system of the Bangladesh, that's called Halda. But 3 years back, they are using a rubber dam. So this is the rubber dam. So they set the rubber dam in the Halda River, and after that, so the kind of a fish breed there is they need a huge speed of the water, right? But once the rubber dam is there, you can see the speed right now, right? Because there is no speed actually. So when the speed, the water flow is getting down, the fish which is dependable on the speed, the natural breeding system is gone. So almost 90%, more than 90%, in fact, 80%, 90% natural breeding, the whole system is collapsed right now because of the rubber dam, right? And that is make like an also the involvement of the private sector. So that's one thing we are adding in last 100 years, by the way. What the next? Industrial pollution. I think everyone know about that. Before like 1800 century, the industrial pollution is industry is there, but industrial pollution is not as much there because in that time they are using the organic color, the organic element. But nowadays we are for the chemical using so much chemical, so much, like for example the garments industry, they are using so much color and dyeing for the dyeing process, color and chemical system, right? So that's actually make the water polluted. Even in the Bangladesh, you know about the Buriganga River. So in the summer season, the Buriganga River even gives some smell, in fact. And there was then place called Hazaribagh in the part of the Buriganga, and Hazaribagh basically popular for the tannery system, like the animal thing, right? So in that place is so old that one environmental specialist in the Bangladesh called is Rezona Hassan. So she told, if you want to see hell on the earth, then come to Hazaribagh. So as much, just imagine the thing, right? So this thing. So that's that one thing we are adding. We are adding in the last 100 years, and that's make that river try to collapse. So that's another thing. Another thing is the extensive farming and their pesticide, the hormones, the fertilizer. So I already told you before, once the fertilizer is washed by the rain, that somehow in the different pathway, they are going to the river. And that pesticide, that's hormone, that's fertilizer basically make more vulnerable to the habitat of the river, like the small fish, the different kind of plants, the aquatic plants, that kind of things, right? So that's also we add in the last 100 years. Another thing is case fish. So case fish is we add in the last 100 years, and that's basically how actually changes the river or how collapsing the river. Because in the case fish, you already know they are using different kind of food which is come from the outside, like the industrial food. And also in the case fish, they are sometimes not all of the case fish factory farm, but some of them are cultivate the fish which is not actually based on the river. So when they are using the food which is not actually the fish for the river fish, that food actually changed the habitat of the river fish, right? The river indigenous fish. So that is why sometimes even we see the already the existing fish of the indigenous fish, the different element, different plants of the an animal of the river, they will just extinct because of this thing, right? So this is another thing we add in the last 100 years. Secondly, not all the thing is man-made. Sometimes the natural disaster, earthquake, the flood is also changes the river, like changes the channel, changes the pathway of the river. So that's also happened in the last 100 years, but that's very less. More is like human man-made, right? So this is one thing that is very alarming. That is like in last 100 years, another thing is happened which is never happened in the before. That is like seawater come to our river. Even in Bangladesh, it's called one river is Shitolokha. Recently, the scientists are getting found the seawater element in the river, like seawater already incoming in the river system, right? So that's also happened in the last 100 years, and it's coming, right? So those rivers is still alive. Maybe after a few years, after some few years, we can't even see them. They will also collapse because like the river like the Khalid Bhai or Avinash, who actually hold more objects, who are more survival, they will even collapse once these are the things we'll add, right? So another thing is the deforestation. So last 100 years, the forest beside the river, like in Bangladesh, in the hill track, there are some river, the upstream river from the hill area, and once the river is what's actually the relation between the river and the deforestation or forest. So once you cut down the tree, I think you know about it, the groundwater, when the water go to the ground level or the river level, that is actually more polluted. But if you have the tree beside the river, the water going to be more clean, and in the purification, the tree is working like an purification, right? Purifier. And last thing is the sand mining. So in last 100 years, sand mining is not only collapsing the river in a way that the sand is gone. Rather, when they can extract a massive amount of sand from the dredging system, in the like in in this picture, they are like dredging from this area the sand. They are also extracting the egg, the small, very small plant, which is the surface level of the in here. So they are also extracting this thing, right? The egg from the turtle, from the egg, fish egg, the different very small element which is just surrounding in the river plate, over the sand. But when they are extracting the sand, like on the over in the land, in the outside of the water, they are kind of like just also extracting the element, right? So the sand mining is also a part of the changes of the river, like because of the collapsing of the river, right? So these are the factors where we can see we can add actually in last 100 years, like we are adding in the number in this game. And some of the river is also already collapsed because of the dam. Maybe the small river is already in Bangladesh. Once we called it a riverine country, but nowadays a huge amount of river is just like dry land, right? And this is already gone. But even is the big river, maybe they have the water, but that is polluted. And even the river which is not polluted, the chance is high, maybe in next few years, as much we adding different factor, that will be also going to be polluted. So these are the tipping point thing. I want to told everyone that a river is also have a tipping point, and river has also a collapsing thing, right? So they also have the thing. So now we are again share a link. So I can already share some ideas or the thing which is we add in the last 100 years, but definitely there is something more, right? And so now I can share the again the Mentimeter link. Go to the link. What you think? What are the something more we add in the last 100 years? Or what are the thing maybe we can add in next few 10 or 12 20 years, which is going to be the reason for collapsing the river. So just go to the link and write in the few thing. What do you think, what are the thing we can add in the last 100 years because of the river collapsing thing? So just go to the link and write it on the thing, right? So what are the thing we add more? So one, we already get one response: medical waste, industrial disposal, plastic. Okay, great. Okay, we can get something more. Okay, in this plastic, chemicals. Okay, great. Right. So plastic waste. Okay, I already told the waste thing, like the pollution thing. So except pollution, what are the system we add in the, like big hydro, okay, black carbon, sedimentation, exactly, very good point. Sedimentation is a very good point of view. Pesticides, I already told it, but except that, what are the things? Melting glacier, okay, great. What are the things we add in the last 100 years, which actually the reason because of the collapsing the river. So sometimes the river is automatically collapsed because of the natural disaster or natural system, but not all of them, right? So what are the things we add in the last 100 years because of the last 1900 years the river is not destroyed, but last 100 years the river is so much destroyed, the fish habitat is so much collapsing. So pesticide, industrial pollution, medical waste, melting glacier, river erosion. Okay, great. Aluminium, chemicals, fuel waste from ships. Okay, great. Sedimentation, big hydro, black carbon, plastic. Okay, I think we get some few more response within 10 seconds, 10 more seconds. We're using it. Just go to the link and write on the box. Fuel waste from ship, died animal and human. Well, died animal and human, it's not pretty sure if it's directly harmful for the river or not. Okay, a medical waste, melting glacier. Okay, great. So thank you so much. We also get some something more, some more points. More demand from food. Okay, great, very good, good point. Like sometimes we're extracting in a way that is actually okay. In the chat box, we also get some response. Like Avinash said, GHG emission and definitely nuclear waste. Great. Industrial disposal, plastic waste, river tourism. Yeah, exactly. River tourism is, maybe we can use it. I already told that before. That is why the river tourism is maybe if we can make it in a sustainable way, that helpful for our river. They are work like in positive way. But in the same time, if we don't regulate this, that's gonna be the negative stakeholder, right? So that is why I talk, make the session before that negative and positive stakeholder. But thank you so much, everyone. I think you get the idea that the river is not collapsing in a one day or in a 1 year. That's a kind of systematic process, right? We're adding and adding and adding factors. That is the thing is key in the river. So now I will ask again to turn on the videos, right? And this time it's very necessary, right? So we need the video. You will get the idea why. So I request everyone to turn on your video again. I don't know why. Is there any option in the Zoom like that is automatically turn off the video after a while? Is that in the way? Or is this the thing? If it's not, then why the video is off? And okay, so this is a request, right? So try to get the best experience from here. Okay, so we are listening the lecture in a very many times. So now we are stressing a bit on ourselves. So can you just raise your hand in a way, like praying for the rain, something like that? Okay, then just shake yourself in a right and just shake yourself in a left. Okay, thank you. Now just give some like make some superpower thing, right? Like the superheroes or super heroes. Okay, so the way is like in that way, like in first left hand, then right hand. Okay, so easy, very easy, right? Just give some superpower. Okay, thank you, Jaraf, Dr. Chandi, Ashik, Kishore, Khalid Bhai, Sharita is not doing. Okay, Manini is not doing great. Okay, thank you so much. I think that will be helpful. The people who are behind the video, I think you already missed this. That was fun. Thank you. So now I will show you one picture. That's a very favorite picture of me. And okay, just a second. So now I will show one picture to you, and you have to identify. Okay, so can you show that? Get the picture, Meghna, can you see the picture?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So there is two picture. The left, there is a picture in the left, and picture in the right. So you have to identify what's actually missing in the right side of the picture from the left side of the picture, right? So what's the missing factor from two pictures? So who want to say, just raise your hand. I will ask you to unmute yourself and then you can say it. So first see the picture very critically, carefully. Then if you get any changes in missing factor from right to left, the one picture to another picture, then you can raise your hand, right? So that's why we can ask you to roll it. So any changes, any missing factor is there? Manini, can you say?
Yes. Yes, on the right side, the torch is not lit, but in the left picture, the torch is lit.
Okay. I think we have to say it more in a precise way, like in the top, in the right, or top in the left, or
Okay.
bottom on the left
So,
or right.
yeah. So in the right picture, a girl is holding a torch, which doesn't has any light in it.
Okay.
But in the left picture, that torch, it has fire in it.
Okay, great. Okay, we can already get one thing. Okay, I think it's a middle, right? This is the thing. Oh, great.
Yes,
Dr.
yes.
Chandi, can you next? And he's missing.
Left side is yellow and red balloon types and two balloons only.
Right. Easy. Here is the thing, right?
And right side is
in the lap shape, I think.
Blue and others.
Great. Yeah, right. So here is the picture. So there is the two balloon, here is the three balloon, but also color is different, shape is different. Great. That is any missing factor, any missing thing.
Yeah, the blue girl beside the pool, holding something in the left picture, but empty hand in the right one.
Right. Yes. In the left picture, they have a juice in their hand or something drinks, but in the right side, it's missing already. It's gone. So okay, what's something more? Who want to tell next? Yeah, please go ahead.
There is an easy chair in the left side.
Yeah, right.
But in the right side, it is not open.
Yeah, it's closed. Yeah, great. Okay, Khalid bhai.
Another one is in the pool. If you see someone with a pinkish,
okay,
bio, and in the right side it is white. So the dark, the color.
It's a bit tan. Okay. Great. Okay, Khalid bhai, great job. Okay, who's next? Priyanka, I can see the hand of Priyanka. Priyanka, can you go ahead?
You already mentioned the one as well.
Okay, now you can find another one. Okay. Avinash, can you go ahead?
Yeah, but in the same pool, the person who is in the his bottle is open and there is some drink splashing down. But
your voice is a bit lower. Avinash, can you just a bit louder?
Yeah. So the person's bottle is the drink is splashing in the second one in the right picture, but from the bottle. But in the left, it is in the bottle. The drink is intact. So that is.
Okay, great. Okay, Avinash, great job. Great findings, by the way. Okay, Khadija, can you just next go ahead?
In the left picture, in the pool, the girl is on a pink colored duck, and on the right side, the duck color is white.
Right. So the swan is a different color, right? Okay, we can get two more response. Sriti, can you go next?
Yeah, I wanted to point out that in the right picture, the color of the ladder or whatever, if that's a rug or a ladder to enter the pool, has a combination, and in the left it's different.
Right, it's very critical because the two rag is almost similar, almost same, but only the one stripe color is different, right? So that's a very good point. Great. We can also get some response in the chat box. Like in the right picture, the girl wearing the floater, but not in the left one. And also in the pool left, the girl has been, okay, I already got that. Okay, we can get one last response. Who actually don't talk till now, right? Like Charaf, Ashik, Anu. I think I want to respond from you guys. Any finding, any missing thing you find from here to there, like here is that, here is not the, present, here is missing, anything? Or the people who don't, Abu Tawhid Hussain, can you just respond? I think we can get some response from yourself.
I found something. Okay.
Yeah.
Cover.
Hi, this is Anu. I found something. So
Yeah.
in the right image, there is a umbrella, blue umbrella. There is a female there, and in the left image, that female is wearing a duck on her waist, which is not there in the right image.
Right, exactly. Even Sarita saying swimming risks are different in the both picture. Okay, great. Almost all the Tao said almost all exactly. So I think most of them are covered. Yeah, great. So thank you so much, everyone. So this is the thing we are finding basically the missing factor from here to there. What is there and what is not here? So that's the thing we are finding. So is this also happen on the river? Like in the river, this is also happening like in the previously, and something is there, but nowadays it's missing. Is there anything? So that is the actually session topic, our title, the missing factor of the river. We'll talk about now about the missing factor thing. So yeah, that's true. Actually, there's something which is actually missing from the river, and we segment it in a three way. Number one is the local and indigenous solution, which is populated by more than 10,000 years, but nowadays we are just kind of forgetting or eliminating that indigenous solution. That's one thing actually missing from the river nowadays. Secondly, the different kind of tradition is missing because of there are some reason, we'll talk about it definitely. This is also missing from the river. And third one is the culture. River-based culture is also missing. Actually, I use the word missing, but that's actually not even give the full idea. Missing thing. Okay. That's actually kind of like try. Sometimes people are make it eliminate in a proper way, in a systematic way, right? So, what actually the missing factor from the river? Now we'll talk about this. So missing factor is something, the list is more and shocking sometimes. Why? Because now we'll talk about this definitely. So first thing is we already told you before, the indigenous solution, the local solution is made by the local people, the indigenous people beside the river in the more than 10,000 years, right? But that's actually missing right now. So first thing is this is we called a solution for actually protecting the river erosion. So this is the solution. The people who are live in the Bangladesh in the side of the Rangpur, Dinajpur, in that area. So they are using this thing called bundle. So bundle basically help to protecting the river erosion, right? So, and that's a very low cost solution, low cost like in a way where people can make it in their local resources. But time to time people are forgetting about this thing and come up with a very big solution, the solution which need more money, the solution need more expertise, the solution needs more footprint is more, carbon footprint is more, something like that. But that's a very fantastic solution to save the river from the erosion, right? And that's an like in traditional way people are using in a more than 1,000 or more than 1,000 year, right? So that's an solution is missing. Missing means people are not focusing on the right at this moment, right? So Ashik Iqbal said in the chat box, River Research Institute have exactly. So see, so nowadays River Research Institute now piloting the project, but that the solution is kind of like an we need to maintain the in a way after year and year and year, but we forgetting, then again we find the way from the people, but not practicing the thing, right? After like failing in the exotic solution, then we again focus on the indigenous solution. So this is the one thing. Second is that's very interesting. Sometimes we are just make a bridge or culvert or just make a bridge from both sides of the river, and we are using a very infrastructural bridge which need very money and definitely the change of the river. But that's the solution is very easy. They are using trees to make a bridge, right? In the Nepal, you can, if you can visit Nepal anytime, you can see many bridges in their hill tracks areas river. They're using the trees of in called in Bangladesh bot or shod, that kind of tree. So they're using it to make the river. That's an individual solution. So definitely that's not possible in the big river or everywhere else, right? But in the Bangladesh, recently we can see a big amount of infrastructural bridge is making in that area, and that's actually changes the system, all the whole system, that's polluted the system. So that's gonna be a indigenous solution is possible is there, right? But we are not using it, so that's actually missing. Another thing is, so that's an area from the Sylhet. It's an we called Haur area. So the tree is this is the tree, and the tree's name is Hizol tree. So Hizol tree is an fantastic ecosystem with the river. Like when the water is going up, this tree is never going to be dead. And interesting fact is the fish, the different habitat of this water is also using this tree to take fish to live there. But and also the most important thing is this tree saved the people beside the water body from different kind of disaster, flood, and that kind of thing. And if you can go there right now in 2011, they can say you before 10-20 years back, when the trees are more, then the flood, the disaster is less. But nowadays it's going to be more because the trees is less, right? So that's a very simple solution, simple thing, simple mathematical equation. But nowadays we are forgetting this thing, and we are told that we need to make a dam, make a math dite hobe, something kind of that. So this is the one thing. Another is this is a very popular solution made by the people. The some areas of the Bangladesh is going high because of the flood sometimes, and their harvesting, the way of the harvesting is disrupted, right? So they are using a floating bed to cultivate their different kind of harvesting trees, like the paddy or jute or whatever. But they are using it very low cost, like this is the tree. This water trees is basically help to make the floating bed, and this cost very minimum amount of cost, and that's an they are using it more than like 100 or 1,000 year. But we are not sometimes using this thing. Even in Bangladesh, one company is one like industrialist company, which is a very big plastic company. They are creating a plastic bed which is floating, and which is very like pricing is very high. And you already knew when the plastic is go to the river, the microplastic is extracted into the water body, right? And that's also like using an amount of money, and because of the producing this thing, you need a carbon footprint too. So this is not the good thing, but already our existing solution is there. The indigenous solution is there. People are using it in a more than 100 years, but we are missing it. We are find a new way to make a plastic floating bed. So these are the indigenous solution, but as well as the solution, we also lost our culture. The culture and tradition is also missing from the river because of the manufacturer. One is like Nauka Baich is rowing is a very popular game once in the Bangladesh, but nowadays it's getting down time to time, right? So yeah, so that's one tradition is kind of missing. We barely see in Bangladesh and nowadays this kind of esports activity. So another is this is in photos from Rash Mela. So Rash Mela is one fair, kind of a fair based on the mangrove, the Sundarban river, the river from the Sundarban. And Rash Mela is not one, but it's actually more. There is a different kind of fair happened in the Bangladesh once based on the river. This is also related to the different kind of religious, in fact. But nowadays, when the river is polluted, the river is more privatized. People are not get the access to the areas in the randomly. So fair is going to be getting down, but day after day. Rashmala is still there. Rashmala happen every year, but the other fair, even when I was child, I can see a different kind of fair based on the river in my areas. But nowadays, I cannot find this river because the river water is not there. So the land is already grabbed by the other people. Sand mining thing has happened, so people don't get the access to there. In fact, right. So this is the one thing. And yeah, this is the part of thing. So another thing is, so this is the picture I can took in back in June, back in April. this year in my beside my home, basically very nearby my home. So I can show the picture here because some of the religion uses the river beside river bank to burn their dead bodies, right? So this is the picture. This is a picture from India basically, but this picture I can show you because just back in the picture I can see some people are coming with a dead body and just burn it and they just go. This is not an place. There is not an setup place for that. There is no building for that. They are using the only land. But once the land is grabbed by the industrialists, the land is gone. They don't have an access there, so they don't even get the access to burn their dead bodies in a way, right? So that's the thing, because not all the people go to the traditional church or the other place to burn their dead bodies. So yeah, so that's the one thing. And lastly, yeah, so these are the thing we actually missed, the missing factors, and the list is getting more and more after time. So these are the thing. Basically, we are focusing three things. One is one indigenous solution or the river-based solution, and another is the tradition, and another is the culture we are followed in the many years, but nowadays it's missing. So again, we can ask you to give some response. What actually something more you feel is missing from the river? I can give you again the chat box in the link. Please go to the Mentimeter link and just write it what actually you think, or also you can unmute yourself and told it in a short way what you think is missing from the river nowadays. So just go to the link, chat box link, and just write the what you think, right? So okay, so just go to the chat box link and just write it down. What's something more is missing, and then we'll forward it. So, or you can write also in the chat box. That's also fine. Can you get the access of the link? Okay, we are still waiting, by the way. I think the link is working. Vinamra, how the link is this link working?
The link might not be working. So it says open Q&A and then finish, and then just.
Sorry. Okay, then you can just write on the chat box. I think that's much better. So just write on the chat box, okay? So Nusrat already said, I guess also respect to local knowledge, tradition is being missed. Exactly. So exactly, that's a very good point. Sometimes we are not even give the respect to the people of the beside who are live beside the river. So we feel they are like kind of a different level. We are not in their level. So the respect is missing actually. Thank you, Nusrat, for sharing. Okay, water is missing from the river. Fantastic, Sarita, you are like that's a great point, right? So water is missing the river, exactly. So the biggest thing we are sometimes we are missing the biggest thing and focus on the small thing. So that's the very good point. Water is missing from the river. So Manini said vulnerable fish like Ganga River, dolphin are rare from the exactly. So the different animals, indigenous animals, fish is missing. So willingness to preserve the river, exactly. So we don't even feel that we need to preserve the river. Even sometimes just think about it. So this is an straw which is priced like 2 taka or 1 taka or maximum 5 taka. But when I just throw it in the river, it destroy at least 1 lakh taka. $1 lakh, for example, this price is $1. But when I throw it in the river, that destroy at least $1 lakh. So just think about it, Jeff. Our thinking about the preserving is not missing actually, right? So Khalifai said connection of river, kids of the city is not growing up to the river. Exactly. So the connection is missing. So we have to think about it. We have a session, we have a segment after that. We actually share the ideas how we actually make the bridge, right? So Mayuri said there is forest, pond, river section which it used to be protected indigenous group and less. Okay, great. Mayuri, thank you so much for sharing. Avinash said interest to save water and preserve your indigenous knowledge is missing. Exactly. Avinash bhai, thank you so much for sharing. Nagra said natural river bed level profile. Exactly. Even in Bangladesh, you will just feel depressed once you can hear that. In Cox's Bazar, there was a road called Marine Drive Road, but Marine Drive Road is made to save the kind of an people beside the seas, right? But previously there was a called Dale, or in Bangla it's a called Baliari. So Baliari or Dale basically saved the embankment, right? But nowadays they make a road which is destroy the system, and to save the road they are using very awkward face structure, and they say in a hole beside the like river and the sea and the in between the river, in between the road, right? But that's not the good way, right? Thank you so much, everyone. There's a conversation of river, conservation of river. Dr. Chandi said, sorry. Sarita, aquatic leaves are missing. Yasha said, youth participation and women participation in decision making or planning. Kishori said, reprint right. Kishori, can you just say it? I actually don't understood the reprint right to river is missing. Can you just say a bit elaborate in short? Just unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hi, this is Keshari. I'm saying that riparian rights, people living in the river sides right is missing.
Right, exactly. So great. Thank you so much, everyone. That's a very good point, and that discussion was really good. A great point is coming. So very quickly, I will talk about some thing which is very important, even more than important. When we are throwing plastic pollution in the river, that's definitely a thing we need to concern about. But sometimes it's more important to talk about the people of the beside the river who have lost their right in a systematic operation or systematic way. That is something more important, because the plastic pollution, this kind of thing is some kind of an eye washing thing. Eye washing means doesn't mean it's not harm river, but that is so much focused in newspaper, in our discussion, in everywhere. That is why the main thing, like the right of the people of the river, is kind of missing sometimes. We don't feel that's also important. So sometimes we are kind of romanticized with the thing. That is why the more important thing is missing. So what are the something we need to talk about? So now I will talk about some elimination things. So how the people are lost their right, or the people, for example, I can tell you, the people who live beside the river in a 15th generation, like in a 200 year or 2000 year, is they have more right, who actually save the all the environment and all the system. So should we, should they have the right for that, or the once the government is coming or the private sector is coming, the government sector is give the lease, give the land to the people, land to the private organization, and private organization makes some industry there. This is important. So sometimes people are not lost the river rights, it's because of it in a year or in a way, but this is a kind of a systematic way that is basically lost their right. For example, in Bangladesh, there is called gypsy or bede. So gypsy people are live in the river, live in the boat. But nowadays, when the river is privatized, the people are government give the river to our private organization for lease. So people are like making a cage fish in everywhere. So the people who lived in the river, they don't have any place to live there, right? So people have lost the right for the river, for fishing, for living, for living in the beside the river, not because of one day system or one day thing. This is a kind of systematic operation that make them kind of exclude from the river, right? So sometimes we are feeling we need to work on the river. We also need to work on the land law, the river law, the people who are in the suffering in the banning season. These are the things. Even just I conclude this thing with one thing. For example, the people who buying the net and the gear and everything in the banning season, sometimes they are caught by the police or somewhere else, and the police and the guard, they took every net and gear which is actually the kind of an they never buy again, the fishermen. But the thing is, when in the transboundary river, when the Bangladeshi fishermen is banning, in the meantime, the Nepal or India, or Myanmar, the transboundary river, they are also fishing in the same time. So what's the meaning? What's the meaning of this thing? Because in your area, the banning is there. The other areas, the banning is not there. So actually, you don't protect the mother fish in a proper way, right? Because the banning is not everywhere. But the effect of the banning is only happened or only get the one specific areas fisher people, right? So think about it. Just don't romanticize with the issues. So now, yeah. So these are the thing. Now we are going to another very interesting part. Okay, Vinamra, can I just take over and just start our next interesting last segment?
Okay, perfect. Hi everyone. I'm Vinamra. I will be leading just some of the solutions and talking about, as this is a youth-focused event, we highlighted some of the issues that came about the river, and Amir has done a good job kind of introducing the stakeholders, how has the river changed over the 100 years, and sort of what's missing from the river as well. So would it be possible to divide all the participants in 3 breakout rooms maybe, and then we can jump and help around with the discussion? And the idea is to kind of focus on some of the solutions that can come forward of how you would like your river to be in the future, and how I think Khalid Bhai mentioned some of the youth solutions and youth focused responses for the river. So Mayuri or Amir, can you just divide?
Sure. So Vinamra, should we use the Jamboard also?
Sure, I have a Jamboard link. Yes, I have the Jamboard link. I
send the Jamboard link on the chat box. Okay, so the thing is, we are going 3 specific group, and each group have some moderator. But the thing is, we are talking about the solution, right? So I already sent it, the invitation, the breakout room invitation. Please join the breakout room. And what the time, Vinamra, for the breakout
maybe 6 minutes.
Okay, so 5 or 6 we continue, and once we get back to the main room, we'll share the ideas, right, Vinamra?
Right.
Great. Okay, I allocate Yasha, you, and Mayuri in the 3 different groups. Okay, is it okay?
Yeah. Maybe just stay back, Amir, with me 1 second.
I'm here. Okay, Yasha and okay, I think Vinamra, I send you in the group 2. That's
yes.
why.
Room 1.
So in the room 1, Yasha, Mayuri is there. Room 2, you are,
okay.
And room 3, Yasha.
Which room should I join?
Yeah, you can join now.
In which room?
Room 3. You are in room 3.
Okay.
You're in Khalid Bhai room. So room 3 is more intellectual room. Dr. Chandi, you can already join. Did you join? Anu, did you face any trouble to join? Anu and Chandi, did you face any trouble to join? Hi, the people behind the KikoChat support. Can you just turn on the video and we can just make a discussion or gossip, because we have 3-minute time, lesser time. I don't know whoever behind the KikoChat support.
Hi, Amir.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So, do you also want to join some room?
No,
the breakout rooms which you've just created.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I was disconnected. Can you just make me co-host again?
Yeah, sure. In a
This is
minute,
Amir,
I'll
by
do
the way.
that. I'll do that.
Yeah, so I'm Amir. Just I need a minute. Great. Fantastic. Great. So we still have 1 minute left, by the way. Hi, Zareen Apu.
Oh, hello. I joined both the sessions, like the other session is going over the website, but it ended actually.
Okay, great. I think everyone is coming till few more seconds. Okay, Vinamra, I think you should continue. Everyone is back. Yeah.
Yes, sorry guys, I need to rush for another meeting. So sorry. Very nice to.
Vinamra, you are muted.
Yes. So, go ahead, Avinash. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. So as you can see, I will just share some of the, so group one sort of talked about urban plan. So somebody from group one, do you want to just explain your Jamboard really quickly? Anybody?
Or
Yes.
Mayuri can share.
Yeah.
On behalf.
Okay, so the group basically discussed what are the things that can be done better to manage the river sustainably. The points are that surface water and groundwater needs to be looked at as a combined system, and importance should be given to aquifers as well, along with surface waters. Another point was government policy implementation system should be better. It should actually reach people it's meant for. One more point is that the voice of people, riverine people, should be included in decision-making process, and transboundary river should be managed by a joint single body, which will have representations from different kind of stakeholders.
Okay, perfect. Does anybody have an example of a single body or any transboundary issues that have been dealt with in this setting currently? So that's something that we would want to promote. I think for group 2, we talked about the Himalayan ecosystem a little bit and sort of melting on snow, but a few other points that came up were kind of integrating the expertise of local indigenous people to help improve the river, as well as how river tourism leads to pollution and sort of dealing with that. And then Sarita ma'am added the fact that river activism and sort of more aggressive kind of vocalizing your views about how the river should be managed should come up within local governments in some respects. So yeah, thank you so much for everyone who kind of gave these responses. Does anybody want to add anything to this Jamboard? Please feel free. I'll stop sharing right now. Yes. So yeah.
So we are once the workshop is done, we are using the Jamboard output is give to the KikuChat main room session, so you can find the output in there, right? So just check this out in the later. So room 3 is also shared, right, Vinamra?
I think room 3 already added the points in the same chat. So let me check. So if anybody, yeah, group 3 integrated river basin management and sort of talking about long-term planning, involvement of youth to consider environmental ecosystem services, strategic use of degraded settlements to build wetlands and barriers. So I think, yeah, these were some of the issues that were brought up by group 3. So yeah, I think, go ahead, Kamya.
Fantastic. So one thing, one question is very important. One thing is very important. How about that? How we can, the question is how we can involve the youth into river. So the different solution, the different stakeholder, the getting back our indigenous solution, ensure the rights of the river people. Is there any thought about that? We will just close the session. Before that, we can get some response from you. So how we can involve the youth into river, as even how we can involve the kids into river, because the kid will be the future youth, right? So is there any thought about that? How we can involve them? Anyone want to share anything very lastly?
Yes, Zihatai, may I share something?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Zihatai, I think as Khalid Bhai was mentioning that kids are being disconnected from the river. So, there is disconnection of the, young generations from the river or the riverine community. So we need to, facilitate some, learning exchange trips to create more empathy for those riverine communities. Also, we need to, create connection between the urban youths and the rural youths, so that the urban youths, create growth, empathy towards them, because they are the future generations. And if they are in decision-making process, if they're going to participate in decision-making process, they don't, grow empathy towards these riverine communities, they will make mistakes. So we need to, facilitate, this kind of learning exchange trips, or they need to actually, we have to facilitate workshops so that they can go to these people, closer to these people. So that's it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Rosalba. Thank you so much. That's really important. Even if we can integrate the curriculum of existing, like the children, if we can integrate it with the competencies from the river, that will be great. Thank you so much. Siti Tiwari, we can you just share? I think I see your raised hand. Can you just share?
Yeah, I just quickly wanted to add, this is something that came up when, as a part of the Youth Ambassador program that Mayuri, Yasha, I, and a few other participants are part of, and we are trying to do it, is try to make sort of a comic book for children. So where we try to communicate in a more simple manner or through storytelling, try to communicate to them how important the river is. And because we have a multidisciplinary plus multilingual group as a part of the program, we want to have it in different languages so that, it can reach several people and children especially. So that could be another idea.
Right. Thank you, Sriti. Thank you so much for sharing. The thing is, our time is already done. So time is up. Can we take 5 more minutes from everyone? Just a request. Is it okay to everyone? Just 5 more minutes to just wrap it up our today's space. Is that okay? Okay. Okay. So Bhinutha, I think you want to share something.
Yeah, also
Bhinuthana.
Kaushik's arm is
Yeah,
right. So
Vinam.
please go ahead.
Yeah, Vinam. Oh, yeah, right. Kaushik bhai, can you just share what you want to say?
Yeah, thank you to give me the floor. I want to say some points that is already practiced in previous time, like boat riding in the river, swimming, fishing. This could be included in such a process that youth generation can be involved in restoration project, like swimming competition, fish fry exception in the river, and also boat riding competition. These are the things.
Right. Thank you, Kaushik bhai. Okay. We can get, I think, 2 more response. Then we wrap it up for today's. Binu, can you share something about the Assam River? I think Sarita mentioned you.
Yeah.
Binu,
Yeah. Good evening to everyone. Good evening to everyone. In case of Assam, South Salmon and Mankachar, where some of the fisher folk communities, they are, that means especially only fisher folk communities are there in those villages. In one village, 99 families, 150 families like that. Especially they are getting, that means only 4 to 5 months only they are getting livelihoods due to fishing ban, as well as similarly flood and flash flood scenario. So the youth, especially there, that means the youth, they themselves showed interest, and they are requesting, that means to know the new technology, that because currently they are only following the traditional practices, their fathers and everyone. So now many new technologies has come, so they are requesting for new technology for case cultivation as well as for fishing. And many people, that means nets, though everyone will not, everyone is not having the nets, those things. So they are, that means requesting youth themselves, they are facilitating to linkage with schemes like that currently, as well as we are also linked with, that means we are on the process of linking with CIPRI and ICAR especially. And in case of fisheries department, we have already linked up with them. This is one of the thing. And so one of the issue might be Najat already aware about that one, because when that one in last Bangladesh webinar, one of the youth, he himself raised that if we cross by mistake the transboundary area, some, that means they are facing here while they are fishing, that one fishing, they are facing lots of problem due to border crossing. So is there any guidelines whether they will, that means if any SOP will be there, it will be better to safe mannerly they will return back like that. So such type of things also, if we look after it, will be better. Thank you. Recording in progress.
Okay, thank you so much. Khalid bhai, I think you want to say something. Please go ahead. Then
Yeah, I just want to say that we need to change the narrative around river. For example, as you know, in 2017, Indian High Court declared the Ganga as a living entity, and also in 2019, High Court in Bangladesh declared river as living entity while giving a verdict around Rug River. So when we were kids, at first when we first knew that trees have lives, it really changed our mindset about trees, and it still carries a value within us, like tree has life. So river is also considered as a living entity. And if we can promote that kind of narrative, and what you try to do, like a kind of showing the carrying capacity as a human being, as a living thing. River is a living thing, and it can't carry whatever you put on it. So we need to create those kind of narrative. We need to popularize those narrative, I think, among the kids, because at our age, or even after 20, you can't really change people's mind. So it needs to be done, when they're in school. So we need to work at that level. So thank you.
Thank you, Khalid Bhai. Thank you so much. That's really important. Even I'm working in a project under TROSA leadership program, where I am trying to integrate the competencies which is related to the river, because in Bangladesh, for the primary level in science book, there is 18 competency, and one of the competency in the number 6 is called kids will learn about the aspect from the environment, but there is no thing which is such as related to the river. So I am trying to make some content related to the river in Bangladeshi context, and maybe I will later advocate our NCTB or the curriculum board, then how we can integrate the river-based knowledge. But definitely we have to think about it, how we can integrate it in a massive way, right? Sarita, can you just I think close it up because it's too late, right?
Okay, I mean, this is very brilliantly progressing. So I thought let's go ahead, and I'm sure everybody is enjoying. I just have one sentence to add to what Khalid Bhai and rest of the excellent participants have to say. River and water is not everybody's business. So our role is to make it everybody's business. First thing, and how? See, if you see the health sector change and reforms across world post structural reforms in 1990s, then you'll see one trend that is very much taking the focus of entire world, that is through behavior change and communication. BCC interventions, an institutional approach to BCC, behavior change and communication, for health sector reforms and renovations. And the same principle will only say water and river. And for that, we as the present generation have a role to play. This is one for you. This is one way to influence the decision makers and policy fraternity. Another way is to extensively write about it. What do you think about river and water, and what do you feel is important to conserve or even save river bodies, is another way to look at it. So let's make river and water everybody's business. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Thank you, Sharita. So, okay, before I close, Yasha, Mayuri, and Vinamra, you want to say something before I close it up? Yeah, we take a photo. Definitely, they should take a photo. I already took a bunch, but Yasha and Mayuri, you want to say something?
Yeah, I hope the participants have enjoyed the session as much as we had facilitating it. So best of luck, everyone, and hope to meet in another sessions. Mayuri, you understand?
Yeah, well said, Yasha. Thank you everyone for turning up, and it was really a great session. Thank you.
Yes, once again, thank you everyone. We really tried to make it interactive and sort of break the usual way of presenting, and hope you all had learned something from it, and happy to see you all here. Before we leave, is it possible to take a quick photo, Amir, before we end the session?
Yeah, just one thing. Just one thing. I want to share
main room. I think you already knew about it. So this is the thing we are using for
main room for the all event and everything. So here is our segment, and you can ask any question after the event session. So anything ask here, and also in the whiteboard we uploaded the response we get in the Jamboard. So you can upload even more after that. And okay, thank you so much, everyone. So now we can take the photo.
If anybody can, if everyone can turn on the video, that would be great.
Take the screenshot. I mean,
yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I really love the I think Dr. Chandni want to say something. Is she? Your hand. Raise your hand. You can raise your hand. You want to say something in the very last?
No, thank
Okay,
you.
no.
It's a very energetic session today.
Oh, great. So thank you so much, everyone, and be riverine, be with the river, make the bridge between the youth, river, and kids, connect the river, and thank you so much. Still the river, everything is river. So thank you so much. See you again. We are not saying bye-bye because from Make a Team, the organization I'm representing here, we believe we can see yourself another program. So we are not say goodbye. We are say again, right? So see you again. Have a nice day. Bye bye, Shobai.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.